So in a nutshell, who I am, JV the coach, what do? I declutter, I downsize, I organize, I get you out of your own way, I get you into calm. And I also release whatever baggage you've been holding on to from your past that you didn't know was there. I bring it forward and we move forward so that you can live the next journey of your life in serenity, peace, clarity. And, that's in a nutshell.
Hello, this is Matt Helton with OneTrust Home Loans, your reverse mortgage experts, and you found the Serving Senior podcast where we highlight those awesome businesses and individuals that help seniors thrive in retirement. And today we have a returning guest, Miss Jennifer Vazquez. She's with JV the Coach, and she's going to share with us how she declutters seniors' homes, but also, more importantly, declutters their minds, emotions, and just does an awesome job serving seniors. So Jennifer, how are you doing today?
I'm good. It's good to see you. It's been a while.
It has been a while. I mean, I've been waiting, but you've been at AARP, on the live air. She's been everywhere serving seniors at such a high level. So we're so lucky to have her. So thanks for being here. Maybe bring us up to speed since we had you last. Tell us about the TV appearance, what you've been doing, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. It's been busy. Just with a lot of, again, like just decluttering seniors and getting them a lot of times into assisted living, into just out of their overwhelm in their homes, getting them out of their own way. A lot of the baggage, again, like I always say with my clients, comes from the past traumas or their upbringing or their history, and that doesn't allow for them to make decisions and to feel overwhelmed, and that's how they get into the overwhelm of their spaces. So just working with them hand in hand. The AARP was a wonderful experience. They had reached out to me on East Nashville page, which I want to plug anyone that has a business.
Okay.
It's just go on social media and share and thank people and be a part of the community, because you never know who needs to have you show up somewhere. And that's exactly what happened. So they reached out to me needing an expert guest on downsizing and decluttering.
Okay.
And it was good. There was like 4 or 5 people there. So it was like, I was like legit show. I was there to talk about the process, decluttering, downsizing, cleaning, organizing, repeat, and also being there to answer questions from people that were calling in, seniors that were calling in with questions, concerns, and also just, comments. So it was a really good experience. I always say, I love to be thrown into a challenge. And that threw me, because you always have to be on your feet. And so I love the challenge of constantly being, thrown into the game. Man,
that is so cool. That kind of reminds me, my mom always says and does, you never know who's watching. So make sure you mind your P's and Q's. And you didn't know AARP was watching East Nashville Facebook page, but they were, and that got you there. So great job. It's so awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, for those of you that don't know your background, maybe could you take us from the beginning? What your background is, what you've done in the past, and how it evolved into what you do today, and maybe simplify it for here's what I do and here's who I help, if you could.
Okay. So I started out as a musician. So let's just throw that out there. I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm in Nashville. So my whole life was that. And then I was looking for a career. I wanted my music to still be there, but I wanted a career where I could support and help people be of service, basically. And so in a nutshell, I met with a bunch of people, college professors, independent, businesses, small business owners, and I picked their brains to say, here's who I am. I'm someone I love to solve problems. I'm very organized. I'm very detail oriented. And I love a clean home. I was just throwing everything out there.
Okay.
And I thought I wanted to do more of like just be in a company and do networking and like do like social media because I have a knack for that. And all three of them, all these people said, Jen, you're not a 9 to 5er, so you're going to have to go find something that you create.
Okay.
And so that led to me down this path of, and again, it was like declutter your mind, declutter your home, but I didn't know what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, this makes sense that I want to declutter people's homes and I want to declutter their minds, but how do I put it together? Is there something that connects? And so as I started to navigate this and just literally, put a business card together, start going into different coffee shops, putting my cards around, talking about it to people. I'm doing this. This is what I am. As a business owner, saying what you are makes you it. So as soon as I said, I'm a declutterer, I'm an organizer, I go into people's homes, I get them out of overwhelm and into action. I get people out of overwhelm and having clarity in their day when I declutter their minds. It is interconnected. If the home is out of sync, the mind is out of sync. So I just started talking about this, and little by little, I got traction. And going into the senior community, how this all looped around is that I got how it really started is a friend of mine said, I need you to help my mom downsize, declutter, and move. Like, this was my first actual job. And it was just like, here you go. And I actually went to Austin for about like a month, and they paid for my stay. And I went through this whole process of decluttering, downsizing, organizing, getting her ready for the move. And she was already in there, but just getting her into the new space.
Okay.
And just learning that this is something people actually really need, like the older community. And then after that, getting involved with Westminster Home Connect, which is really a beautiful, nonprofit organization that helps the senior community that can't afford to, let's say, get things like ramps in their homes or fix lights or things that are necessities that are broken in the home. Okay. But the obstacle was they couldn't get into the home because it was a lot of hoarding going on. Mm-hmm. So that introduced me to, this is an obstacle. This is actually something that's happening in the senior community that no one's really talking about. Okay. And so that led me to senior living, and then going and working, being contracted out with Westminster Home Connect. And that allowed me to see the connectivity between how do I put these two things together, decluttering the mind, decluttering the home, getting our seniors into safety and accessibility, making them have joy again in their lives because the clutter's out of the way and they can have people over. So in a nutshell, who I am, JV the coach, what do? I declutter, I downsize, I organize, I get you out of your own way, I get you into calm. And I also release whatever baggage you've been holding on to from your past that you didn't know was there. I bring it forward, and we move forward so that you can live the next journey of your life in serenity, peace, clarity. And, that's in a nutshell.
Wow. That is awesome. That's a fantastic journey from singer, songwriter to JV the coach.
Not a planned one, not mapped out.
That is awesome. Well, somebody had a plan. You just didn't know it. Yeah, that is so cool. And what I love about it is that you did your homework, you did your research, you got some expert advice, and then instead of like most people, you sitting around and go, are they right? And then what they're talking about, you put a business plan together, you put it in motion, and because you did that, someone had enough confidence to allow you to try it. And then you tried it and it worked and it took off. It's just unfortunately a lot of people don't have the courage to take the next step, right? You can take the first step, then the next step, and the next step. It sounds like you just kept putting your foot forward, and next thing you know, it's working and you end up on a TV show. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I will say, if as you're saying that, I'm thinking, well, what I'm doing? It's getting you out of overwhelm and into action. And the whole point of living your life is to be in action, right? To be on the court, to play the game. Don't sit on the sidelines.
Yeah.
So that just encompasses like what the mission I have to get you out of overwhelm and into action is actually my mission in my own life, right? To get me out of overwhelm and constant action so that I can live a life I love on purpose, for a purpose, right?
Yep.
So it kind of like feeds the cycle of my life and then supporting others and then supporting me. So it really is a beautiful business that was created from source and universe because it supports me in my growth too.
Yep. It sounds like you developed the momentum, and now you have so much momentum you can pass that on and give that gift to other people. I have a friend, he says that the magic happens when you're on the dance floor. Unfortunately, you have to have enough courage to go out there and get on the dance floor, and then that's where it happens. So you took the steps, and now you're doing it. So congratulations to you. That's awesome. You. That is great. Maybe, Jen, if you could share with us what just a few examples of so people can kind of put it in their mind, concrete, this is the type of person that you help. Just some examples of people where they were, what you did, and then where they're at now in their lives and how you helped.
Okay. So, for instance, a client, which also we have hand in hand, because I gave you some, I was saying juju of here, this client needs your support after I've supported. She is in her 60s, and so she was you always are what you are, but you have to so she was a hoarder, but she was ready. So hoarding, like full on hoarding, like pathways through the house, right? Wow. Not much accessibility to anything. I mean, everything when I walked in there was knee deep, most of it. Some rooms I couldn't get into. The kitchen, you couldn't do anything more than walk to the sink. So I'm dealing with, for instance, she was a hoarder. She was ready. So hoarding situations, she was ready, or not that she was ready. You're never going to be ready. So just get over that. But she was willing, and she accepted that she had a problem and she wanted to get support. So it's someone that has a lot of overwhelm, is willing to get the support. And then I'm coming in there to chunk away the hoarding. But also the person that works with me also knows that I'm going to be working through their brain so that the dis-ease in them, because hoarding is mental, like there's something happening in there. So that is not something that they want to do. It comes from an addiction type, behavior. Okay. So it's nipping you don't never nip the disease, but you manage the disease, right?
Yep.
So for me, it's working with hoarding situations where I can get into the person's brain and we are able to talk and dissect and really get to that root of why they even started this in the first place subconsciously, so it can come to the conscious level.
Yeah.
And then they're able to start seeing what they're doing, so that as we're going through their home, space by space, they will be able to maintain it. So that's like number one, right? Hoarding situations.
Yep.
And for Linda, we went through her whole house, plus a storage unit that was right outside her house. We went through a whole house. You would never know she was a hoarder after we were done. You would never even know it.
I can validate that. I've been there.
Okay. Yes. Right.
She said, I'm so happy Jennifer came before you did, because you couldn't have sat on this couch if she hadn't.
Yes. And when we first met, the day that I went for a consultation with her, I remember it was a 3-hour consultation because, and I knew, I was like, as soon as I walked in, I couldn't sit anywhere. So yes, there was no place to sit. She was sitting on a chair. She said, I said, no, don't worry. I don't need to sit.
Yeah.
And so it was that hoarded out. So hoarded out, I got her to a place of calm, clarity, and ease and joy. She loves painting. She was able to do more of what she loves. If you look at her, when you walked in, there's like all these paintings all over. She did all of those. Like she just paints. So it's bringing someone out of that overwhelm and then into this joy that they can live, and then hope that they're going to keep, the tools and everything you've given them, the habits. And so, like I was saying to you, it's like I reach out to her every couple months because I need to be like, hey, Linda, do we need to get together just to make sure you're not going backwards? Because we're human. And so it's really maintaining once you get through that type of a situation. That's number one. Like that would be the hoarding situation.
Okay.
There's also the situation where there are, and this is kind of a couple of people, it's harder with this kind of situation where they're in an assisted living and they are hoarders, but they went into the assisted living and now the assisted living house is hoarded out their space.
Oh my gosh.
So they are either one person was getting kicked out of the assisted living. So I had to come in to try to get them and maintain them and actually move them out. Like, so that's a situation where it's urgent. And I have to come in and hold their hands and allow them to, again, it's everything I'm saying is about trust, right?
Right.
And you gain the trust immediately because this is not easy for some.
Right.
So that's a situation where I coached her through things. She wasn't happy most of the time, but she realized she needed to do it. Like, so it's really, like it's a very thin, fine line. And we got her, actually, I boxed her up and ready to move. And the result of that is the daughter who was like, Jennifer, I can't thank you enough. Like the last time we had to, because they had to do this like once before to get her in, but they said, oh my God, like having you there was so much more efficient and just everything was, done. And we weren't like waiting for the last day. And then she's like, okay, I'm ready. So it's really getting the family members out of overwhelm because of the parents that are, hoarding in assisted living.
Wow. Okay.
That's a situation.
Yep.
The other situation would be just older people, like this woman that I just had a consult with yesterday, and she's 82. And like I said, this woman does not look 82. I mean, beautiful, how everyone should look at 82.
Yeah.
And she's just looking, she has a 3-story house just by herself. She wants to move in the next 3 years because she's thinking of aging in place into somewhere where it's one level because she's not going to be able to walk up and down all these stairs. So she's not rushing. So this is another situation where she's like, Jennifer, she said, I don't want to get rid of everything. What I want to do is just like start by getting like, and she's like, and I don't want to give anything, like, I don't want to throw things away.
Okay.
And a big part of me is saying, we don't need to throw things away if it's not garbage. We can donate it. There's so many places to donate it, and it makes you feel better. So that's also a good way to not stress out when people are like, I don't want you throwing it out. We're not throwing things out. We're donating them to people that need it. So that's like the third situation where with her, it would be, she's not moving. I said to her, so in 2 years, you kind of want to be ready? And she's like, yeah. I said, well, this is perfect. We're going to go room by room. We're going to just declutter first, just get everything needs to be donated. And then we're going to downsize it, put things in boxes that you might want to sell. Once we clear out certain big spaces like a garage, then we can start boxing, labeling, and getting you ready for a move that will possibly, this could be an estate sale, but you don't want to donate it because you want to make money off of it.
Yeah.
And then so it's just step by step with that kind of a situation where they're not in a rush. They have a plan and they really need support because it's hard for them to make decisions.
Yeah.
And the backup of, well, maybe a person can use this one day and then someday. So this is going to be coaching them through the process of, let's talk about this because it's better to just donate this than not really make any money, but you're keeping an item for them.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
3 different, you know what I'm saying? Like there's,
That was great. And then do you do anything, Jennifer, where maybe just the mental side of it, or does it always include the decluttering side? So it's always whenever I'm saying any of this, I'm actually doing both in the home. Okay. So, and since last talking to you, it's been a lot more where I'm actually now So yes, to answer your question, I have clients that I'm just on coaching like you and me and, younger clients. So, so that's an interesting thing. A younger client who,
I decluttered her house, and afterwards she's like, okay, I want you to just purely coach me. So long story short with that, I decluttered her house. I'm decluttering her mind. I'm coaching her. She actually just got she finished her test and got a therapist job. Like, this is incredible. This is why I do this.
Yeah.
Because you get people out of their own way. You help them. You support them. Are you a stand for them? And then they start showing up for themselves. And so that's a situation where it takes time. You chisel away. You give them habits. They repeat it. It's good habits. You change their mindsets. And so, yes, and in the household, what I'm doing now with my clients is I'm starting to map out, my declutters are usually 4 hours, which is the sweet spot. But a lot of times, if it's a bigger job, it's 6 hours, 8 hours at a time. It depends. But I like 4 hours because it's enough for the person to get a lot done, let them see the process and the progress, and they'll be tired afterwards. Okay. So that's a good spot. And so what I'll do is the first 45 minutes, I start coaching them. So we sit down, we sit at a table. What actions did you take from last week? What is stopping you? I start taking them through my 4-step process, which is basically getting to the root of the root of what happened, and then getting that root out, throwing it away, and reformatting their system like a computer. Okay. I'm doing that all now while I'm actually decluttering them. And I'm trying to be as efficient as possible because it really, really, the mind must stay decluttered if we're going to keep the house decluttered. So I really need to find it. So yes, to your question, I do it completely separately, but now I've fully brought it into the decluttering sessions because you can't have one without the other. You just can't.
Man, that's great. That's great. Well, you shared a little bit, I guess, but what is your favorite part about what you do, and what's different now that you're in it versus what you thought when you first got started?
I just enjoy the decluttering. That's just it's a process, right? It's just you're just doing the activity. I love being physically active. It just feeds me. So I love being physically active.
Yes.
And I love sitting down or talking with someone during these coaching sessions that I'm now implementing fully into it. I just love getting someone, I know it's going to sound silly, but I love getting someone so uncomfortable that they can't really turn back.
Yeah.
Because I've cracked open something that once you know something, unfortunately, but fortunately, you can't go back because you know too much.
Okay.
But there's a place in between where it's you haven't accepted it, you don't get it, you don't even know it's there. So you almost are mindlessly walking forward into the chaos.
Right.
Right. So I love when I can get you to see what I immediately saw, and then you starting to make conscious decisions because we've done a lot of work. So it's the process. I love the process of getting someone to see their own baggage and to be able to use the tools I'm supplying them with, trial and error, which ones work, which ones don't. I have lots of tools, so we can just throw them at you. If they don't work, let me throw you another tool, right? Everyone has different ways of being fed. So I feed you with a lot and you tell me what works for you.
Wow. So cool. That's great. That is great. And is that what you expected when you first started this, or is that different as you've got through this journey?
I'm going to be 100% honest. I didn't expect anything because I didn't know this was going to be a business. I mean, that's my truth. I mean, I don't know what I expected. I kept walking forward. I didn't imagine anything because, again, I will say music was this big vision in my life.
Sure.
This was just something that I was just walking towards in curiosity.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's pretty cool. So just built the momentum one step in front of the next, got some advice from some mentors that you trusted, and here we are.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's cool. I mean,
that's pretty awesome. And that's why I'm so glad that we got connected as well, is because you mentioned getting rid of the baggage and that side. Well, unfortunately, people have financial baggage as well. So like we talked about on the mutual client we worked with, besides her house, she had financial debt. She had issues in the past, bills, etc. So we were able to come along, wipe out the money that she borrowed, make her mortgage payment zero, and pay off her credit card debts as well for her. So that way she could completely move forward versus having that, I guess you could say, financial weight holding her back. So we love to work with folks like that, and thank you for the connection.
Yeah, and that's why you're welcome, and I'm so happy. I really, really am happy that worked out, because that's what this community. I mean, that's what as senior services and just our whole community is about. It's like getting to know each other and then being able to offer. Okay, again, it's like tag you're it, because I did my job, and now I know enough people in our community and have talked to and had one-on-ones where what's out there now, and you also trust. I'm not going to hand a client that I've been working with for a year just to anybody. Right. It's like someone that I know is going to have their back. Yep.
That is great. Well, so good to hear. Well, Jennifer, as we wrap up, anything that I should have asked you that I didn't ask you? Any message you want to get out there?
Just I just say if anyone knows anyone that is dealing with overwhelm or hoarding or just any type of situation where you need support, I'm always here. My website, jvthecoach.com. You can always check there. There's so much. There's a lot of resources, a lot of before and afters. Also, there's a free ebook. And then I'll just say there's a lot more coming. Like I have a lot more projects that I'll be rolling out in the next year and a half, which I'm not talking about yet. But they're going to be just more opportunities for people to not necessarily have to work on with me one-on-one, but I'll start broadening my abilities for a lot of people to come in at once. So just a lot of projects I'm working on to make this a bigger possibility for more people.
That's awesome. So cool. So it sounds like from what I gather, you're all about adding value. You've got great information available just so people can get to the bottom of what's going on, because you want seniors as well as human beings to live their life decluttered and free from all this baggage, it sounds like.
Yeah. And again, like I want to build a community where I could just help as many. I mean, I'm saying the same thing, but it's like I just want to help as many people as I can. And I know that one-on-ones, I can only get to so many. So it's like my brain is just starting to be like, I need to reach more people, but I can only be in one house at a time. And so, if you're curious, go to jvthecoach.com, and all my socials are my TikToks. There's some fun stuff on TikTok. I do a lot, just a lot of inspiration and before and afters. So TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, it's all at JV the Coach. That's like my handle. Okay.
That is awesome. So please make sure you follow JV. Make sure you check out her business and make sure you share this. We all know people that are in this situation that could really use what she does, regularly use her services. And most importantly, hopefully you gather today, her heart is for helping people, right? She's got a business that's secondary, but she's just adding value. So Jennifer, thank you for being who you are and doing what you do to serve these seniors.
You're welcome. And check Matt out, because he's amazing too. So he's doing so much. I mean, I know you have the podcast, but it's like you're really a great source and a great part of our community. So check Matt as well out, please.
Thank you for saying that. We really appreciate it. And we know that seniors get all kinds of financial questions and different issues coming their way that they're not equipped to answer. So we just want people to know, if you have any financial question, even if it's not real estate, not equity related, if we don't know the answer, our job is to find someone like Jennifer or someone else in our network to get you the right person, someone you can trust, because there's unfortunately a lot of people that you can't.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much, Jennifer. And I appreciate your time, and so glad to have you on here a second time. Please, let's don't make it this long before we have you on for a third time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm ready to go. We'll pick another topic.
Well, it would be awesome. And thank you for watching the Serving Senior podcast, where we highlight these fantastic people like JV, Jennifer, that serve seniors at such a high level. Thanks again. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you, Jennifer. Bye-bye now.
You're welcome.
Hey, this is Matt Helton with OneTrust Home Loans, home of retirement mortgage solutions. And we really do appreciate you checking out the Serving Seniors podcast today. Now, please go to the description down in the body of the podcast where you can subscribe to get future shows, please click that notification button so you get notified when other shows drop. And also, if you can go to servingseniorspodcast.com, and we'd love to hear a comment about our show. We have a heart to serve seniors, and we have a heart to make sure seniors don't just survive retirement, don't just get by in retirement. We want to show seniors how to thrive in retirement. So if you know of anyone that's 55 and older that could use some extra cash flow, maybe the retirement's not going the way that they like, our retirement mortgage solutions are designed for folks, and depending on the state, they're either 55 or 62 and older, to make sure that they have that kind of retirement that they want. As long as they own a home and they're in a good equity position, there could be some solutions that they may not have thought about, or maybe they've thought of and they just didn't know how they work. That's what we do. So anyone in that age group that could use some mortgage advice, my team and I would love to be able to help them. Thanks again, and look forward to seeing you on the next show. Have a great day.